you want more light? I'll put more light.
No. I'm just listen. It's fine. It's fine. Sit down. Why are you not listening to me? Sit down.
It looks fucking great.
All right. Well, then don't change it.
There we go.
Okay. I was right. It was a little bit too dark.
You were not wrong. You were not right. But if this weekend has told us something, is that you have to give in to your partner once in a while.
Oh.
Because today we're talking about Valentine's Day.
Are you gonna tell me how cute I look right now?
Yeah, actually, you dressed appropriately.
At least one of us dressed up for the occasion.
I dressed up for the occasion. I'm wearing colors.
I can't deal.
Okay.
I can't deal with it.
How's that not colors?
I can't deal with it. Please don't stick your foot in my face.
I'm wearing baby blue Converse. If you guys are not watching this and you're listening,
all you see is from the waist up.
Yeah. Do you actually own? So if you guys are listening, Jen is wearing a dress with small hearts all over it. Do you actually own this, or you bought it for it?
I do own it.
When?
I got it.
Why did you buy this?
Well, because it's cute.
Okay, but
wait, let me stand up so people can get the full effect. See, it's like a little shorter dress.
Okay.
But I think it's very feminine and flouncy and fun. The 3 Fs.
The 3 Fs. Yeah, well, so today we're talking about Valentine's Day.
Let's talk about Valentine's Day.
So we're not going to bore you with the history of Valentine's Day. First of all,
cares about that.
We don't even know it.
I don't know it. I don't need to know
I don't
it.
really
I just know that it costs people a lot of money.
Yeah.
Every year.
Let's start with what do you have any fun Valentine's Day stories? Or?
Any Valentine's Day stories? I've gotten dumped on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
By a guy who I didn't want to be his girlfriend, and he decided to end things. We had plans for Valentine's Day. I think I told you about this. I went down the lobby of my building. Concierge had a heart, thing of heart chocolates, and I cried myself to sleep that night. And I ordered a extra large pizza, sausage and pepperoni.
Oh.
So.
But honestly, though, good for him. Good for him. I would have done the same thing. Like, you're actively dating a girl, and the girl says, I'm not down for you. And then you, as a guy, going to have to make her feel special on that specific day where she just told you she's not down for you. I'll be like, okay, you don't want me? Fuck it. I'm out.
I lightly told him that I'm not ready for a relationship. And I thought that was perfectly fine, acceptable to say. You have to communicate, Julian. If this podcast has taught us anything, it's communication.
You definitely have to communicate. Yeah.
Right.
But I guess he was butthurt, so he was just like, oh, you don't want anything serious,
so he decided, yep.
He's like, no,
you know what?
Fuck
so
that, I'm not spending money on you. That's how he
picked up his ball and he went home.
Wow.
So any fun Valentine's Day stories from you?
No, I don't really have anything like crazy fun, but I do remember. A few years back, I was hanging out with someone, and it just happened. Like she was really into me, and I did like her a lot too. But she had a little bit of I want to say she had a bit of a crazy behavior sometimes. Like she constantly thought I was cheating with another one, and I was not. I was generally
another
not.
One.
Another
Maybe
one
you
who thought I was.
Examine your own self.
Listen, I have been told that I'm not the most affectionate, and I can understand how that can lead to that. But anyway, so eventually, it just kind of stopped because it stopped and we started again and stopped and started again and whatever. So eventually we actually stopped, and that was probably like 10 days before Valentine's Day. And then on Valentine's Day, she texted me. We haven't talked throughout the last 10 days, and then she texted me a picture of everything she purchased for Valentine's Day for me. So there was, because I'm French, so there was French rosé. She bought some French crepes.
So much thought into it.
Oh yeah, she thought into it. The real thing though, okay, when I saw this, I was like, kind of like whatever she was doing, this manipulating thing, it was like, oh, this is what I got you, you fucking piece of shit. Kind of worked, because at some point, one day when we were hanging out, we walked at the Grove. And at the Grove, there's this French little shop called Monsieur Marcel.
Yes.
Right. And they sell everything French products, a lot of them. And one day we were in there together, and I saw those lollipops, like tall, long lollipops. Yeah. Wrapped in old paper. They're like artisanal lollipops. And I used to get those when I was a kid every Sunday, my father, we would go in that specific place to buy food for the day. And every time we'd stop by, and I would get this one. And I told her the story. Don't you? She bought like 5 of those, and she put them in the picture.
Oh,
and I was like,
adorable.
I was like,
you
man.
should feel like a real piece of shit, Julian. I'm not going to lie.
You
let a good one go.
You let
a good one go.
No, that girl had issues. But I will say, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, man, that was like well thought. Like,
but it's also diabolical because think about this. She knew that, like, you know, you were going to be hopefully by yourself on Valentine's Day. You get this picture of her being you, because this is like the whole kill him with kindness attitude.
Yeah.
To make you feel just incredibly guilty, just like numbingly guilty.
It did. You know what?
It didn't?
It didn't.
Because you have a cold, dead heart.
No.
That's why.
It didn't for one reason. I don't give a fuck about Valentine's Day. Like, I want to say like most guys, but I'm not going to talk for most guys, but I don't care about Valentine's Day. To me, it's a regular Thursday. It's a regular Tuesday. It's literally Valentine's Day to me is like Thanksgiving for me. It's a regular day.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care for it. And
I don't okay.
But I will say this.
Yep.
I will say this so we can move on from this X little thing segment. What I did enjoy, like on the picture that she sent, did make me realize that, first of all, it was nice for a girl to go the extra mile for the guy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it seems like Valentine's Day, it's the guy who's expected, you know, to treat the lady, to make her feel special, which, you know, this is the custom and stuff. But the fact that she put all this thought process into it and that she actually, you know, thought about this, and it was small. There's not a lot of money spent to do it. It's not about the money, but I was like, oh, she actually did something. And that made me kind of realize why I could understand how people like Valentine's Day.
So how did you respond to her after she sent those pictures? I'm just
honestly,
curious.
Honestly,
I
really don't remember, but I probably would have said. I think honestly, I don't know.
I did something similar, in that it was the guy's birthday though, and I know that he liked a certain kind of suit because he had been looking at this suit in the magazine that he saw.
Like Suit Supply, men's Suit Supply.
No, this was like a high-end designer.
I know.
It's not Suit Supply. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And he and I contacted the designer, and I got his measurements, and I had him custom make the suit that he wanted. He broke up with me, and then that suit got shipped right to the house. And he was like, and he called me up, and he was like, so your suit just arrived, and you wanted to have a conversation after that. I'm like, yep, that's right, you torrid piece of shit.
But
like I enjoyed that.
Know.
I didn't even care. I wasn't even bitter about the idea that he got the suit. He doesn't deserve the suit. Take it, and then you can sit and seethe and live and bathe in your guilt, because that's exactly what we want.
But how is that guilt? If he doesn't like you, he doesn't love you, that's not guilt. He's just he's being honest, and he's breaking up.
We got back together after that, but
yeah. I mean, also when you got that reporter money, it's easy to make
reporter money. Oh
reporter and host money.
Rolling in it.
You know, contacting the
my
designer
God.
and stuff. That is, I mean, yeah, of course. You know what? If that was the intention, I don't agree with it. But I could say that as a guy, you receive this, and the first thing you could have, you know, if you break up with someone, we talked about is you always have that kind of like breakup remorse in the sense of like, fuck, did I make the wrong
decision?
And then you get a custom suit made by the girl you just broke up with. You'll be like, fuck, did I make the good decision? Because this is really, really fucking dope.
By the way, my mom is very disappointed in you, Julian. She's disappointed. My mother listens to our podcast.
Okay.
And she says she counts the number of F words that you say in the course of the podcast.
I do say a lot.
She counts them.
Okay.
She wrote me a text this morning, and I was like, you understand that Joe Rogan has the most successful podcast in history, and that's like every other word for him, no?
He does?
I feel like he uses that word a lot, or his guests use that word a lot.
I don't know. Joe Rogan is not my inspiration. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, it's not unheard of for people to cuss on podcasts.
Yeah.
Just know that my mother's virgin Catholic ears are listening to this podcast. And
okay.
She's looking at you and she's judging.
Well, I've virgin Catholic ears have never been fun of me, like fans of me, regardless. I'm surprised it's only the cursing that she doesn't like, considering my free spirited views on marriage and all that stuff.
No, she doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about that.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. She's okay with me having sex before marriage.
She's she's got to be. I'll just say that.
Okay, so then
she's gotta be.
That makes no sense. I can't say fuck, but I can have sex before marriage.
Oh, there's another one.
Fuck, fuckity fuck. I'm on top of my own record right now.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Fuck.
I'm sorry. This is.
I'm gonna say it in French. Putain, 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 putain. I'm sorry, Mama Jen. I'm sorry, but. This is who I am.
Oh god, she just spontaneously combusted.
I think so.
All right, so yeah, we're talking Valentine's Day.
Yep.
From my perspective, listen, I don't care either. I don't care about it. I kind of feel like it puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on couples, specifically unnecessary pressure on the guy.
It does, right?
Do the right thing, get the right kind of gifts for the woman, or
So okay, let me ask you that: if you say you don't care. You've been dating. Let's say you've been dating someone for 6 months, things are going well.
That's a fact. Yes.
If he does not like Sunday is last Sunday was Valentine's Day, right? If he did not even mention or acknowledge Valentine's Day, and just a Sunday, and it's just like, how would you feel about it? Because if you didn't really care,
as a society, we've already corrupted it. So
I want to know how you would feel about it.
Well, I would feel slighted only because we live in a world where it's important. If it weren't important and there weren't like expectations that are already put on men and women outside of my expectations, then I wouldn't feel any kind of way about it.
But you see, I don't feel any kind of way if my partner doesn't. If we don't talk about it,
you should have a conversation beforehand. You should say, "Listen, I don't really care about Valentine's Day. Do you?"
Yeah, but I still feel like I have to because we already know that even if she says no, I don't really care about it, and then Valentine's Day you don't even say Happy Valentine's Day, or you don't bring a goddamn flower or something, then you're an asshole.
You should definitely say Happy Valentine's Day at the very least, and you should do something special as a couple, and maybe not even special. Go out for dinner. Is it that hard? Cook or something. Is it that difficult to show somebody that you care on that day? When
exactly, but okay, I literally just had this conversation. Like you said, it puts extra pressure on the guy.
I think
as a guy, I have extra pressure when Valentine's Day to know that oh fuck, I gotta make. I said it again. I gotta do a I have to make this day somewhat special. The truth is. What's wrong with if you enjoy your hangout time with your partner on a daily basis? The problem Valentine's Day is that suddenly what you enjoy to do feels like it's not enough for that specific day. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. You enjoy it. She enjoys it. So suddenly on this one day, it's like everything we've done that we enjoy now doesn't feel like it's enough. So I have to do something different, and then tomorrow we can go back to what we used to do.
I think it doesn't have to be anything like crazy unusual. Like by pressure, I mean there's like a lot of pressure on the guy to do something, especially depending on who you're with. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
To do something grand, like make this grand gesture. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture at all. Like it can be just something cute, like bring her home a cupcake from Magnolia Bakery. Happy Valentine's Day. Like write a nice little handwritten card because who does that anymore?
No one.
And to me,
also I don't get the point. Just a side note, I don't get the point of cards because you read it and then you throw it in the trash.
This is why you and I would never. We would kill each other.
Like,
my thing.
I don't want for anybody. I don't want cards. I do not want cards.
Why? You don't want somebody to tell you how they feel about you and how special you are.
Say it
in
by
the world?
Text, email, telling to me in person is just the card.
Why would you want something so impersonal like that?
I don't know. I mean, the card is going to end up in the trash.
Handwritten like you're not going to put it in the trash.
Honestly, the only card I think I've kept, I have one card from my mom.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I save everything from my parents because God forbid, because it's gonna happen.
Yes.
When they die, I want to look back on these things that they wrote me and said such beautiful, special things, and to look at the ink that they put to paper. And to me, it's like a little piece of them still exists in this world. Like that's why you keep things because it's called sentimental value, Julie.
Okay.
when you don't have that person anymore in your life and you care about them, it's nice to have something tangible to look back on.
That's true. I mean, cards are an American thing, though. If nobody writes cards in France, I will say that.
They don't?
I discovered cards here.
I thought that French people were very romantic. And
they are, but they're romantic with their words. And it's just about, I love you, my chérie. It's not like, here's a card because I don't have the guts to tell you in person.
Wow. French pansies.
But anyways, we got a little segue. But what were you saying?
So I was just saying, something small like that is a nice gesture. And it doesn't cost anything. It does not cost anything to write down on paper how you feel about somebody. It's the spending that gets me crazy because then you're like stressing out about it and you're like, oh my God, nothing's going to really be enough.
But do you struggle with that as a girl?
Yes, I do.
Or are you talking from a guy's point of view?
No.
Do you believe that a girl should equally try and make it special, or is it more, it should be like 70% guy, 30% girl?
See, it's so tough because I am not like a selfish person in that way. Like I want to show that person that they mean something to me. My guy's not going to listen to this podcast, and by the time it comes out, it's going to be after Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna cook him something. Like we're gonna go out for dinner on Valentine's Day. Then he has to go into work. But then the next day. I'm not going to tell you everything that I'm going to do, but I am going to cook him something that he likes a lot. And
you're going to wear some like kind of...
I'm not going to tell you everything.
No, but like... Because we already established you're not like, we had a podcast with your trainer and you're kind of like saying that you're not a fan of like, being all sexy and stuff, and she was telling you got to do it. Okay, so he can expect a little freaky time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. And I think that's like, I'm doing my part. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's important to him.
Okay. So what do you, let's say you're having a drink with your girlfriend, and your girlfriend says, I absolutely do not agree. The guy should do everything for Valentine's Day. Considering your views on that different, what would you tell this girl? How can you make sense to a girl? Anybody who's listening who thinks, any women who's listening says Valentine's Day, the guy needs to show me that he cares about me, and I just gotta sit on my ass. How would you try to explain how that's unfair? Well, I think
that any good girl wouldn't be like, the guy's gotta show me how he cares about me, and I just gotta sit on my butt. Like, I think a trash girl would say something like that, but like a quality girl would stress. Quality girl would stress out over what to do.
Try to make something.
To try to make them happy, yeah.
But like, so for example, I like to cook. I like to cook at home. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when I'm dating someone, there's a lot of times where we don't go out and all we do is like, stay home, play some music, I make dinner, and then we, drink a little bit of wine. And I love that. But for example, on Valentine's Day, like,
how do you change that up?
How do you change that up? Because Dude. I like to cook, and that's already what we do. But now I feel like if I cook something that we've already made, it's nothing special. So unless you add little stuff. I'm going to tell you how
to spice up your little Valentine's Day.
Cook without a shirt on, maybe.
Exactly. You cook without a shirt on. Put like a little funny, cutesy little apron.
An apron? I have one.
That's right. Put a little cutesy apron on. Light some candles. And then after the dinner, just give her like a nice massage. You know what I mean? Just get out the lotion or the oils or whatever. Like, I have a candle that you light the candle and the wax turns into massage oil. Mm-hmm. It's like a sexy little cutesy kind of thing to do.
And
Boom.
when do I get the steak and the blowjob?
Okay, so this is something else I wanted to bring up. Like, women were into chocolates and like roses and and handwritten cards and massages and like the I love
yous. Guys are a little simpler.
Guys just want a steak and a blowjob. That is an actual thing.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it.
March 14th. It's a month later.
14th.
It's like an internet type of holiday that isn't technically like real, but it is a thing on the internet. It's called Steak and Blowjob Day, which is supposed to be the. Honestly, I think most guys would also settle for blowjob in silence.
Oh. My God, it's taking everything in my soul, and not to throw this tea right in your face. Oh my God.
But then again, okay, so and then listen, there are plenty of women that give blowjobs on the regular. So then, how can she make it special? If she already gives blowjobs to her boyfriend, her partner, her lover on a regular basis, That's
I don't know.
fair to say.
Wear something sexy. Like,
what if she always wears something sexy? What if she's always kind of somewhat wearing some sexy underwear?
Blindfold him, tie him up. I don't know. Do something like out of the norm. Like, you
So
can't tell me that every time you give your dude a, that you're doing that kind of thing. Like, get freaky with it.
So
it's okay.
so you would say, so your suggestion for both men and women is like, if you are already doing a lot on a daily throughout a relationship, on that specific day, don't overthink it, but just kind of do a little bit extra, make it a little spicier, and
make it a little spicier. Give him or her an experience.
Yeah.
Like it's something memorable.
Yeah.
I don't mind chocolates. I really don't. I think that's cute. I think it's like chocolates and flowers. Happy Valentine's Day. You cannot go wrong there. There's a reason that that's been around, forever. It's a nice gesture. And it's really, that's what Valentine's Day is all about. It's just cute.
I will say that sometimes, as guys, I know sometimes I get caught up in the whole like, well, I don't give a fuck about this holiday. So I said it again. It's like, I don't care about this holiday. I don't, it's so commercial and stuff, right? And when I was having this discussion, the other person had brought up a really good point, which is, okay, but if you care about the person, right, or you like them enough, making them feel special, should just be
that should
enough.
Override any kind of personal
and that was a
philosophy
very, very, very good point that I felt I would want to share. It's true, like, even if you're not madly in love, crazy in love, even if it's early into your relationship, because also we sometimes, like, let's say you've been dating someone for a month. What are you supposed to do for Valentine's Day? Is that too early? Is that not enough? Is it 2 weeks? I think if you enjoy a person on a human level, trying to make them feel a little bit special on that day is just, you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong
and
with just a little something.
It's all in the simplicity and the thought. So,
but what about money? I agree that you talk about money and you say, some guys, it makes me think of when I talk to girls and I hear girls saying, well, I want a guy who's a gentleman, like, who takes care of me, and usually it means financially, right? And I feel like sometimes we tend to confuse. No, not necessarily. I agree. That's what I was going to say. Sometimes we confuse spending money with being treated fairly and being a gentleman.
Well, that's because guys, they don't.
Go ahead.
Because guys are maybe just a little more dullardish in their kind of thoughts toward that. Like, she wants a guy who takes care of her. That means money.
Yeah, but there are girls that are like that.
Well, those girls are Instagram influencers.
Everywhere.
Like real girls, real quality girls. Yes, you want a guy who's going to take care of you. And by take care of you, that just means...
We mean emotionally.
Emotionally. For me, that's what it means. Like, emotionally. Like, I want to be able to, like, if like, break down if I want to. Like, if I feel like I need to, like, I want to be able to do that with you and to know that you're strong enough to be there for me.
Yeah.
But as far as the money goes for Valentine's Day, I don't think it's... Sometimes the best gifts you don't spend anything on.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's experiential sometimes.
So it would
but
be enough.
That said, you can't just, like, don't go for, like, the Whitman sampler at Walgreens. Like, we know that you picked that up at a drugstore on the way home. Haven't you? It's a Whitman's, like, chocolates that they sell it.
You just said to get them chocolates.
Walgreens and no, I mean, like, I don't know. They can't be, like, cheap and generic. Like, just put a little bit of thought into it. And if you're gonna go for, like, the chocolates and the flowers, like, just write something sweet. Like, do something, like, out of the ordinary.
Okay.
You can't, like, come home with, like, the chocolate tin and the price tag still on it. Like,
what? Unless you want her to know how much she spent on her girl.
Plastic bag
around. Okay, so all right, get it. But I like where your head's at. That
just
girls are supposed to also do a little bit. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think so too. Otherwise, I'd feel like, what am I, a royalty? Yep. Listen, like, you care about me, I care about you. Mm-hmm. So let's show each other that we care about each other instead of it shouldn't ever be one-sided like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then you're just taking advantage of somebody, and I'm not down with that. There's also this thing, and I'm sure you know what that is. Well, guys have their steak and blowjob day. Girls have their Galentine's Day.
Single girls.
Well, no, not always. Not always. You can be in a couple and still have a Galentine's Day. It's a way of like showing
on Valentine's
your girls how much you appreciate
or a day
them.
after.
Galentine's Day
is usually after.
It can happen either during Valentine's Day or after.
But
whatever.
if you have a man, why would you do Galentine's Day on Valentine's Day?
Well, typically you're single if you're doing it on Valentine's Day,
yeah.
but you can do a Galentine's Day like the day before, or day after, or on the weekend, or whatever it is. Yeah, like I'm gonna do a Galentine's Day with my girlfriend on Saturday.
What's the point of that?
Just to go out and celebrate our friendship, and that we're there for each other, and how much we love each other, because there's love in a friendship.
Do you get each other? Like
this is where it just goes dark right now.
No, do you get each other flowers and chocolate as well?
No, we just go out, we get drunk, and we have a good time. Like that's
so it's like a regular Saturday night.
It's like a regular Saturday night.
So
I mean, there might be a little bit more cheersing than
Day?
usual. So I know a lot of. What do you think happens on Galentine's Day?
I mean, I think if you're single and it's a bunch of girls like, well, we don't need no man, and they kind of drink wine, and probably eventually one of them cries because she got fucked over, or she wishes that dude texted her, but he didn't.
Do you know that I write down notes sometimes in just my thoughts?
Yeah, and what did you write?
And I said, mostly it's a whole lot of, we don't need no man. Cheers.
There you go.
If you're single, I mean, yeah, okay. But secretly, while you're cheersing, you'd love to have a man there next to you in this undercurrent of sadness and resentment, and as we're drowning in mimosas and crushed dreams. But I mean, it's a nice distraction if you're single. Show your appreciation for your girlfriends.
Guys don't have that. I don't think so.
No, yeah, there's no guy equivalent. Day. There's no Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
No, there's no guy equivalent. What would it be? A guy's night out?
Typical Friday night.
Guys night out. Let's go to a strip club.
Again, typical
champagne room.
Typical night then with the boys. With the boys. So I mean, listen.
What do you guys do? By the way, what do you guys do on guys' nights outs? Guys' nights out.
Oh man.
What do you do?
It's funny. There's so many memes about like what guys do on guys' night. It's very dumb. You'd be surprised. Sometimes we just chill on the couch and we talk while sipping whiskey and just make jokes. And sometimes...
Do you talk about girls on guys?
Yeah, we'll talk a bit about girls. I mean, it depends too. Like, there's so many different guys' night. There's guys' night, like tonight we're going out and we're meeting girls. And there's also guys' night where we're out at the bar, but it's just us bros and we're just chilling, talking, and having it, vibing all together. There's guys' night at home. There's guys' night. Like, I have sometimes guys' night when I'm at my house and my other buddy's at his house and we're playing Call of Duty with each other. And that's kind of a guys' night.
That sounds like a great time.
Well, it's definitely better than...
too crazy now.
It's definitely better than crying over dudes while drinking wine with your girlfriends.
We don't cry together.
I'd much rather that.
I can't remember the last time I cried about being single.
Oh, that's probably about like 4 months ago.
Because there's always listen.
At least
there's always options. There's always options.
Yeah, but not the right ones.
Maybe not the right ones. You get frustrated being single, and you're like, you turn around on yourself sometimes, like, what's wrong with me that I'm still single after all these years? And am I gonna find the right person?
I feel like you're talking to yourself right now.
I'm gonna be, 37 years old.
This is not. It's not like we're recording something.
If you're gonna have kids, Jen, you should probably do it sooner than later. And
that's what's go. You have what goes into Jen's.
Did I just let my inner dialogue out?
My inner dialogue is like, what am I gonna have for dinner?
Yeah, I know.
And
vacant.
And then it's kind of like, oh man, I can't wait to get my MP5 and start killing people in Call of Duty.
Oh no.
And that's it.
God.
That's it. Isn't it? It feels so much simpler to be a man. It is so simple to be a man. Okay. So we went over Valentine's Day. Feels a little pointless to me, but
I don't think
you know what?
You know what?
Do you?
I don't think it's pointless at all.
You know what? Do you?
I feel like your girlfriends are there through thick and thin. They're there when the guys come and go, and cheers to girl friendships.
Cool, but that should be an all year around thing. Ooh, that makes me think, what about, guys are like, babe, we don't need to do Valentine's Day. Every day is Valentine's Day when we're together.
No.
That is the lamest fucking thing I've
ever
heard.
No way. That's like when a kid says, for Mother's Day or Father's Day, well, why isn't there a Kids Day? And the parent's like, well, every day is a Kids Day.
Every day is
ungrateful
Kids Day, you little shit.
Little shit. Yeah, exactly. It's the same attitude. I think we covered the gambit.
Like the
Listen,
whole,
I don't think
there's not much.
You can't talk anymore about Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
like
it's been done.
It's been done. Now you know everything that there is to know, the rules, the ins and outs, the do's, the don'ts, all that.
Let's do question of the audience.
Oh.
I read one on our DM from a dude that talked about masculinity and toxic masculinity.
That can be like its own podcast.
Well, let's look into it.
Okay, well, let me see what the DMs have to say.
Yeah, we get a few questions, so I feel like today is a good question of the audience type of day. Go in the DM.
I got
Yes, and then in the requests. Have you ever used Instagram before?
Stop it.
Okay. I will pick one. So this dude has, how about gender roles as a topic? More so the healthy balance of masculine and feminine energy in a relationship and the blurriness of gender roles in today's society. Do men not act like men in today's society? I hear a lot from female friends about guys that date playing video games. How's that a problem? And not really growing up, taking charges. There's a lot of talk about toxic masculinity in today's society. But what about healthy masculinity? What is the lack of today? But
listen, I'm gonna say that is a beefy question that I think deserves its own podcast.
I don't think. No, not necessarily. I mean, it's beefy, but it's just kind of like.
Let's boil it down. Let's boil it down to the Candace Owens argument, which is she feels like men don't know how to be men in today's society. That's what she publicly said that because I think that Harry Styles wore a dress on the cover of Vogue. I think it was. And when she came after him, not necessarily after him, but just about the idea of, why is a man wearing a dress on the cover of a magazine? And like, it should be okay for a man to act and look like a man.
So I actually think this question.
She got intense blowback from that.
Yeah, but this question fits very well with today's podcast for the simple fact that we just talked that man has this extra pressure about Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I think that with what he's saying, it's like we have a society that is, evolving.
Yeah.
Right? And you have women's role is changing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it seems a little bit unfair that women's are allowed to evolve and their role's about to change, but men's aren't.
I agree with that. That is a very astute argument.
And also, what are we talking about in terms of man and masculinity? Because everybody has their own version of what it like. Every girl thinks this is what it takes to be a man.
And I think that leads to a lot of conflict in relationships.
Yes.
You ascribe these like gender norms to people. And if they don't act that way, if they act like, frankly, a human being, because we're like I said before, we're a tapestry of like our experiences and emotions and like even day to day, we're not, some days are more emotional than others. Men can be emotional too. Men are emotional creatures. Sometimes
we're just not allowed to show
it than women.
We're just not allowed to show it.
And that puts a lot of pressure on the man, to act a certain way in a relationship.
Yeah, and society is telling men to not behave like men, and to a certain extent, in the sense of, if the man's instinct is to sexualize a woman, unfortunately, that's an instinct, right? We're telling not to, but then eventually, if they're not masculine enough, we tell them you're not masculine enough.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of double standards.
Where's the line?
Mm-hmm.
So let's because we can't really talk about this generally speaking, but like for you, what's a masculine man? What is a not enough masculine man? What is some stuff that you think of that like, man, a man has to do this?
Oh boy. It's we live in such a very sensitive society right now. So it's. I'm just gonna say, yeah, I feel like there are definitely traits that a man typically has that I need.
Which are?
As a woman, strength. I mean, strength in like,
We're not talking physical strength. We're talking like moral strength.
Moral strength. Yeah. Moral strength. Strength of character.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like the man to be a provider for me and for the family.
Okay. Are we talking financial or are we talking?
Just to know that like he is gonna protect the nuclear family. Like he's gonna protect us.
Okay.
And if it comes to like, I don't know, like an intruder, or if it comes to, I don't know, outside forces that try to, mess with the structure of our family.
Okay.
And yeah, not necessarily money, because I actually believe in like separate checking accounts. Like I don't even believe in the joint checking accounts. Yeah, it's true.
You're
like,
very modern in terms of in that way of thinking.
I think that you should have your own careers and your own thing going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually necessary for a healthy relationship.
I would agree.
As far as other traits that a man should have, I'm just talking about what I like. I'm a heterosexual woman, so I am attracted to a guy who's like taller than me, bigger than me, hairier than me.
Yeah, so this is just mostly physical.
Physically,
stuff.
Yeah, just like somebody who could pick me up like a little lady, and you know what I mean. I like that.
So like Jason Momoa type of guy.
Not that huge. Jesus, that's like climb a tree.
What about, like, especially I feel like in today's dating, as a guy, I'll hear a lot of girls says that they're old school.
Oh, like
right?
Just expectations when you're dating.
And so it's like, I'm more of an old school type of girl. I like a man to be old school. What does that mean? Because I feel I just want to say sometimes old school is not good. Sometimes old school comes from society and men thinking women aren't strong enough to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So when somebody says they want old school, part of me is like, women are worked very hard to have rights and to be heard, and now you want old school, you want to go back to the old ways, which kind of like puts women
Let me tell you something. You don't want the old ways. You do not want the old ways, because the old ways, women were property of a man.
Yeah.
And we were 100% owned by them. Like we couldn't do anything for ourselves. Our place was in the home and to have babies and to take care of the kids. And the man's place was in the workforce and to come home and be the breadwinner and make the money.
And then he sits down, he eats, he gets up,
some people are perfectly okay with that kind of structure. And maybe it's because that's how they were raised, and maybe that is not disruptive of their life, and like that's what they need and that's what they want, and that's okay.
So what is old school? What do you think when a girl says she wants old school? What is she talking about?
That just means you want the guy to ask you on the date. You want the guy to pick you up. You want the guy to maybe even as small as open up a door for you. You want a guy to pay on the first date. Mm-hmm. You want a guy to initiate most of the activities, like when you're first starting to date. Like you plan where to go, and you set the tone.
But don't you agree that contradicts a woman being strong and empowering herself? Don't you think that it contradicts? Why? Like why? I'm totally for. I'm always, even long-term relationship, I'm always about it. I've always picked up my girl. Like if it's not on the way or something, but unless obviously it's not on the way.
Yeah,
but otherwise, I'll say, okay, if she's not on the way, if she's really far, come to my house, but I will drive to wherever we're gonna go. I will make sure we drive, and if we're gonna go on a trip, I will be the one driving, and if it's on the way, I'm gonna go pick you up, and it all
goes
depends.
Back to being that provider and that protector. So like, if you're going on a date with a guy for the first time. I just think, and it's weird because if you want them to pick you up at your place,
that's scary for you guys.
It's a little scary. It's a little scary for the girl because
you always offer. Of
you
course.
don't know. Like now, this guy knows where I live, and is it going to get weird?
I think as a guy, you should offer. Do you want me to? I
think the guy should offer because it's almost like I don't want you to have to go out there on your own. And like, no, I want to be there and walk in with you. That's difficult. That's a really, really good question because I think there's like a lot of hypocrisy and double standards that go on. it's going to take a long time to completely recalibrate the way we think of like gender norms in this country, specifically in this country.
Yeah, because it's like, just like you said, like guys have feelings too, and guys, get emotional too. Listen, I'm all about, making the first move. I'm all about, trying to plan the first date. I'm all about trying to, come and pick you up. But it's also, it's tiring sometimes if you do that the first 2 months. Like, how about when you first start dating, how about you pick date 3? How about you say, hey, would you like to possibly go there?
Yeah.
How is that? I don't understand how some girls can think that's not okay.
It definitely is one-sided if it lasts beyond like the first couple of dates. Like then you like, what do you just expect to get catered to like your whole life? I don't know. I mean, take some initiative.
But then we're not old school, because old school, the women did not take initiative. She did what she's told. So every time I hear this, I'm kind of an old school still. It gives me a bitter taste in my mouth, because I'm like, do you not want to evolve? You can have a new age man who's still gonna respect and do a lot of stuff, but with a new age mentality. But it's not because he's not necessarily old school that he's not gonna treat you right.
That is a really interesting perspective. I think it's gonna take a long time for society to get there, because I can just tell you, like, I would be very put off if the guy did not make the plans in the first date, didn't ask me out for the first date, didn't call me to make plans. Like, if he didn't take initiative, I would be very put off by that. I would be like, well, he's not interested, clearly, because I am a firm believer that the guy should make the first move, period. And anything other than that is contrary to everything that I've been raised to believe. Like, for example, my dad, and I've told you this before too. My dad says, if the guy likes you enough, he will pursue you. And I do still believe that. I do still believe that a guy will actively not let go of you in his life if he really wants you there.
But but to me, if I'm playing devil's advocate, it takes away the idea of choice. It takes away your idea of choice. So now you're a victim of this guy likes me, he pursues me, so I go, what about you? What about your choice as a woman? What about, I like this guy, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
Why is that not okay?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just mind-blowing. If I have a daughter, like I saw this TikToks where a father is like talking to his daughter and making her say everything he taught her. It's like, so if a guy wants you, what does he have to do? And then she says, pay for dinner. And if a guy wants to blah, 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 what he has to do? What he has to do? I'm listening to this. I'm like, okay, so you're giving very high standards for your women, for your daughter, which is great. I agree with that. But if I have a daughter, I want her to know that if she wants something, she should go and get it.
Yeah.
You need to go and get it. If you are actively interested in a man, there is nothing wrong with you going up to that man and say, hey, you know what? This is a little bit random, but I would love to do something. And it doesn't mean you drop your standards, because if you go say that, let's say if you go and you're the one making the first move and then he agrees to it, the right man will offer to come pick you up still.
Yeah.
Right? So you can have a little bit of both. I remember I was at the gym one day, like I think it was 2 years ago. And this girl was looking at me, and I was looking at her, and I've never seen her at the gym before. And she we ended up like kind of working out next to each other without really realizing. And then on her way out, she came up to me, and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna regret this, but here's my number if you ever want to grab coffee." Do you know how much respect I had for this girl? I had so much respect, and I didn't play any game. I was like, "Oh my god, yes, absolutely, absolutely." And the reason why I didn't go talk to her, it's because a lot of guys go talk to girls at gym, because this is what
to be like that typical guy,
and then you're fucking
guy who's gonna come,
because we're all expected to do it. So now I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm on. But she had the guts, she did it, and I respect it. And then on our first date, I picked her up, and then after that we went for drinks, and I paid for the tab. So I still treated her. I was still a man, but she's the one initiated.
Yeah, I think there's just like a lot of expectations of women in society in general, like of balancing like the family and the career, of looking a certain way, of aging a certain way. And so I almost look at it as like, well, that's the least that a guy could do is be the initiator. Like in the dating situation, if I have to agonize over everything else, like the way I look before I head out the door, like, you know, is he going to find me attractive? Like,
but guys deal with that too. Is she going to like the shirt I wear? Does she think I'm balding? Does she think I'm a little too big? Does she think I'm not strong enough? Does she think I'm too tall? Does she think, you know, we deal with that stuff. It's like, I understand this is what society does, but I think that it is important. And I for me, it is important for a girl to question what you've been taught and what society tells you to do.
Yeah, always
right?
question it.
So
always.
We did this whole podcast about marriage, and we're questioning it, healthy, outside the box. What are like an alternative way of marriage? Or it doesn't mean that's what we want, but I think it's important. To question what you believe in the dating and what you think old school means, and what you think this, because the truth is the world is changing. The way we interact with each other is changing. Women are getting more and more powerful, I think it's great.
It's changing, but it's also evolving. Like it's evolving. I think, where we should be. Like we're getting to a place where we should be.
Exactly. So how can old school manners work in an evolved world? It doesn't. It's not the same world.
Yeah.
Right? It's literally like put your grandparents and give them grandparents that have never seen a phone before and give them a brand new full technology telephone. They're not gonna. They're not. It's not gonna work. It doesn't work.
How social and apps and social media and like the world is so much more connected than it's ever been before. There's more temptations out there than ever before. Yeah, everything's different, and it's like you have to change accordingly. So
I'm saying old school doesn't necessarily work that well. You could still have standards into what you expect, but I don't think you should use the word like old school. I'm very old school. I mean, we didn't really answer that dude's question, but I guess
I don't know. I kind of think we did.
Yeah.
I think the whole point is you can't be afraid to evolve and to change and whatever comes along with that. Everything else that means. If it means changing up the way you think about gender roles and societal norms, then so be it. And that's okay, and that's healthy. I would say honestly, like question it. And just because one person doesn't agree with how you see gender roles or how you think as a man you should behave, if that doesn't sit right with you, that's fine, because there's going to be one person that's going to think, yeah, that's absolutely how it should be. Yeah. I think it's a little ignorant to think anything otherwise. You know? And you're the proof of that too. You think differently to other women, and some other women aren't. So think different. Yeah. That's it. That's kind of it. So that's it for today, guys. More questions. Yeah, maybe we could. Yeah, send some more questions our way, and we will do. Next we were talking about hygiene. Oh yeah, that's the hygiene podcast. Mm-hmm. That's a doozy. You guys have a good week. Time.